How is Andre? Is that a lingering thing he's dealing with?
Andre's progressing well, and he's here, and he'll be hopefully playing by Thursday, but not going to play tonight.
And then Pat tweeted out a prayer. He tweeted out he's doing okay, that he doesn't blame Vince Carter. Are there any Pat updates?
No, you've already heard the updates, and we've all been in touch with him, and he's doing well, and everything, thank God, seems to be turning in a really positive direction, and hopefully that continues, and then we'll figure everything else out later. But he's going to be reevaluated on Thursday, and so until then, there's nothing basketball-wise that we're going to even mention.
Basketball-wise, but just he's with loved ones. He's doing all right.
Thank God.
It seems like you've been shorthanded all year. Any concerns being shorthanded against this bench tonight?
Yeah, lots of concerns.
Where's some of the top three?
Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Steven Adams, I guess. Throw Melo in there too. Top four. No, this is obviously a really talented team. They've beaten us badly a couple times this year, and we know they're playing for the playoffs. Not only seeding, but the West right now, it's touch and go for about 5 teams in terms of just getting in. So we know what they're going to bring tonight, and so we got to be ready for that force.
Do you pay close attention to what the matchups could be in the playoffs, or just kind of whatever?
Well, I do, except that it's impossible to really predict. We look at all this stuff because we're trying to prepare for whoever our first round matchup is going to be, but. You think something's going to happen, and then it doesn't, and a weird outcome happens, and that shakes it all up. And so you just, all you do is just play and see how it all works out.
What do you think of potentially being these guys in the first round?
I'm not going to answer that, because if it happens, I'll answer it then. But I'm not going to go through every possible scenario and who's going to match up and what it would look like with this team or that team.
Draymond's shot look more confident right now since he's come back.
Draymond's shot?
Seems like he's really stepping into it.
Yeah.
He had like a 30-footer the other day.
Yeah. No, he, Draymond, I mean, he's not going to shoot a high percentage, but he's going to make timely threes. Last year, he shot low 30s for the season, and then in the playoffs, I think he was in the 40s and made some big ones. And so Draymond is always a guy who is going to have his moments from the three-point line. He's never going to shy away from it, and I like him shooting from the three when it's in rhythm, and when we've sort of gone through our process offensively. And I think he has a really good feel for when to shoot and when to move the ball.
With both of these teams who have established talent, you often hear them talking about a lack of focus when it's losses that have maybe sloppy play. Why do you think that is, that the talent sometimes brings a lack of focus?
With our team? Or?
With both the Thunder and the Warriors. I mean, Kevin was just talking about it too, that sometimes when things aren't happening the way they should be out on the court, it's focus. So why do you think that the lack of focus comes with?
I think sometimes when you have a lot of talent, you rely on that talent instead of execution. Instead of decision making, because players who know they can make any play, they're probably not as worried about making a mistake, frankly. And it's all about finding a balance. We want to play with a great force, and we want to be loose, and we want to play fast, but we want to be disciplined within that, and that's the trick. And it's not easy for anybody to do that. But I think with our team, we just tend to try to do too much sometimes.
Is that where those turnovers come from?
Usually, yeah. We always talk about hitting singles, and sometimes we swing for the fences.
Have you been pleasantly surprised by how smooth Clay's transition back from that injury has been, given the fact he has a wrap on that?
Yeah, I've been surprised that he shot the ball so well, and his conditioning is great. He really worked hard while he was out, and that's the one good thing with a hand injury. You can run all day while you're rehabbing, so his legs are obviously there, but I am surprised at how good his shot looks, given that he's got tape on his thumb.
As a guy who has missed almost no time in his career, how do you think he handled all that time off?
Well, it was. I think he was bored. He couldn't wait to come back. He tried to come back, before we let him, because he loves to play. And So sometimes an absence like that can be good. You get kind of a renewed energy and spirit, and Clay probably has to work harder than anybody on our team on a nightly basis when you think about what he does, chasing usually the best perimeter player around, pounding the ball, and then running off screens at the other end. He doesn't get much of a rest, so I think in the end the time off is actually going to pay off for Clay.
How do you know where a guy like Clay is mentally during an injury? Is it easy to crack his head open?
No, I don't ever worry about Clay. Like, he's the most low maintenance player I've ever been around. He's just so solid. He just loves to play. He loves to come to practice. Not a lot of fanfare. He just does his job, goes home, and he just has the same feel, same vibe every day.
Oh, so when did it for you? When did this playing against OKC since Durant with Warriors? When did this become just a regular game? I talked to other players. They said it's not. Obviously it's not the same as the first couple of times.
Yeah. I guess this year it changed. Last year it felt strange. Every game, like, this is a weird vibe in here. Even in our place, there was like this extra energy, and now that we're a year removed from it, I think it seems like everybody is more kind of settled, fans and players. And I don't want to say it's just another game, because they're a great team, and we always look forward to playing them, and they look forward to playing us. But it's more just about basketball now, it feels like to me.
Does the matchup with Steven Adams affect who will start at 5 tonight?
Yeah. Zaza's going to start tonight. And I'm giving you guys a bonus here on the shoot around. I'm going to start Quinn, Clay, KD, Draymond, and Zaza.
What?
You can tell Billy if you want to text Billy.
Yeah, we'll let him know. What did you notice this regular season with just how they were able to take advantage on the rebounding end and forcing the turnovers? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Well, they're a really big team. I mean, at every position they've got size, and Steven Adams he's a load down there. We know that, and Westbrook's a double-digit rebounder. Paul George, a great nose for the ball. They got length with their reserves. Corey Brewer, Patterson, Grant. I mean, they've got a lot of guys who are athletic and long, and so you got to be very careful with the ball around them. Our first game here was just a disaster. We just kept throwing it to them, and they were running down and dunking it. And so between that and the offensive boards, if you lose the possession battle big against these guys, you're in huge trouble.